Oh yeah. And let's see what's going on. Is the signal being received? Yes, it is. Of course, the title is wrong. I think I know what to do to fix that.
Gee,
I think so, but really quickly, I'm just
is
gonna
it that
edit.
easy of a fix?
I don't know if it's that easy, but I think.
What's the name of the video? Or what was it supposed to be?
Wait, I'm doing it right now. It's just a Labor Day stream. Happy Labor Day, you know.
Happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day.
How's your weekend going so far? Since technically we're still in it, in it to win it.
Beyond the fantasy football snafu, it's been good.
Ah, that was a funny snafu.
Yeah. Make sure that everybody can get into the app on time. That's all I remember. Is my camera not working?
Um, no, I think you're frozen.
Shit, the hell's going on?
All right, I think we're there. What is going on, Tan? Bonjour, mon ami. Producer Vimal, shout out. Happy Labor Day to my subjects. We are here to serve Producer Vimal. Oh, my mic is kind of blocking me. We are here to serve Producer Vimal. So we are glad that you're one of the first here. Enjoying the day off, the semi day off. Hope you're enjoying your day. I think you're still working pretty hard. We'll let Jay figure out his camera situation. Let me know when to let you back in there. Jay, what's going on, Goldfinger? Hope you're having a great day. Let's get this show started. I want to welcome you back to Watch Talk Live. I am CQ the Watch Guy, and the invisible circle over there is retired Watch Guy Jay. He's just fixing him stuff up. It is Labor Day here in the U.S., so it's a holiday. Most people are off, but time doesn't sleep when you're in the business of selling time, right? So we're gonna just check some new releases today. Some really good watches. Anything you guys want to talk about, let's talk about it. We'll probably do our normal hour, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on how you guys are feeling. And yeah, just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you need truly independent watch advice, buy, sell, trade, and everything in between, check out CQTheWatchGuy.com. You can see that handsome gentleman there who has still a little bit of hair on his head in this photo. This is why I won't stop using this photo. This is the last remnant of CQ with some hair on his head. So I just enjoy looking at that picture. But if you need some independent watch advice, check out CQTheWatchGuy.com. And let's start the day off. Let's start out a little light. We're gonna start off with a new Hamilton khaki. Let me double check if we can get Jay back in there. What's going on, Gen G? Hope you're having a great Labor Day. Genji is our resident watchmaker in training. So any mistake I make, I blame Genji for not letting me know the right things to say, because she's our resident. In the same way that I blame Vimal if I mess up anything, it's all Vimal's fault. All right, let's just see if we can get the retired guy back in. I think he's trying to skip work. These retired guys, man. There you are. You want to speak?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. Let me get the echo fixed. Those. Bam. All right. So you are back. And now the show can start. And shout out to everybody who's joining us. You guys are just amazing. So we're going to start the day off with some new watch talk. We have a new. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the mic to not be in my face too much. We got a new Hamilton khaki aviation pilot pioneer mechanical chronograph, now in blue. A nice bicompax chrono from Hamilton, which is one I think one of the most consistent brands in its category. They do some great stuff, they do some okay stuff, but they don't do too many bad things. And I think this chronograph, nice blue dial. I think I'd probably take it off of this leather strap. But overall, I'm a fan, especially knowing the price point it'll be at.
Are
What do
you
you
putting
think?
it on? Like what strap are you putting it on? Sorry.
I'm gonna do a blue suede or a blue shiny strap. Vimal is asking for a cap check. This is a CP Time corduroy limited edition hat, black. We did it in a white text, and then we also did it in a red text. And I have some watch guy merch in development. So I have a lot of fun things for you guys. You know, to buy that I'll send out to you guys for being supporters. That you can tell your friends to buy to represent this amazing thing that we have going. What are your thoughts, Jay? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to fix my mic here.
Nice watch. I mean, given that it's a Hamilton, I know it's not going to be crazily priced. Well, I hope. It's not changing the name or the changing the game as far as like case design or anything, but it's a nice watch. It, and I like the blue. But what strap did you say you put on this again?
I think like a blue suede or so, just this
I feel like
particular
that might have
shade
been
of
too much
brown.
blue though, like if it was blue suede. But I can see why you don't like this brown, maybe a darker brown.
Yeah, this particular shade of brown, I've never been a fan of. It's often paired with blue, but it ain't doing it for me, dog.
Vimal says CQ is pulling up Hamilton watches for the laborers out there. We will be on the bourgeois watches tomorrow.
No, very not even tomorrow. I'm about to go crazy. That's why I decided to start a little bit like I wanted to be a little bit light before we go super heavy. But I think this is a overall fine watch. Price point on this is gonna be let's see, 1,995 Swiss franc on a leather strap, 2,075 Swiss franc on a mesh bracelet. So let's call it 20 under 2,400.
Wait, do they have a photo of it on the mesh?
No, which I thought was interesting. I have a feeling it's not going to be the
I was gonna
best
say it probably
mesh.
doesn't look that great.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say I give 55 miles.
Hey, Daraj, welcome in.
What's happening, Daraj? Good evening to you.
I mean, it's probably like 45, 50. It's not bad. It's just like not moving not moving the needle.
All right, well then let's keep on moving. Let's talk about Louis Erard. Erard has a new. They've been killing it, man. If you like unique looking dials and you're okay with a Salida movement, no, we can't just jump into the Berneron. We're gonna ease into it because I think that's gonna take up most of the conversation today. But look at this Louis Erard field or I don't know, Louis Erard wire art. Basically, they use the bonding machines that they would use on circuit boards, and they're using them to make this dial out of gold to replicate embroidery. And I think if you're just concentrated on aesthetics and unique dials, there's really not much more bang for your buck than you can get from Louis Erard timepieces. I just think they just make really cool, funky watches. This is 4,500 Swiss franc, and I just think this is the bonder machine. Basically, they're giving they're digging little channels in the dial itself. It's a black lacquer dial. Then they use the bonder machine to put the gold in, and it's kind of I don't know how they tighten it out there, but I think it's just a really interesting use of technology, a really interesting dial. This is how it looks up close. And I think for the price point, there are many brands that would charge you like 20 grand for something like this. I think this is fun.
It's yeah. It looked like a Moser to me. It also reminds me of, those people who have that trend of getting tattoos that look like patches on them. Like that's what this style is giving me.
Yeah,
So
those embroidered patch tattoos are
yeah.
they're
So if you
all the
like
rage
patch
on.
tattoos, then we have a watch for you. A pickled pickle. It looks like we will be getting to the Bergeron or whatever that's called shortly. So if you can hold on, we'll be talking about that soon enough.
Yeah, 60 seconds
But
ish.
this looks like a Moser-ish. I mean, I don't the case. Whenever I see like plain cases like this with like concept dials, I think Moser. Even though I know it's not like Moser's first thing. Like they're not the first to do it. But this just looks like a Moser watch to me. It's a
Yeah, it
cheap
gives
Moser, I guess.
exactly. I was gonna say if Moser did this, this would be like It probably
It does look like Goyard. That's a good call out of them all. I can see the
oh
Goyard in
yes.
it. That's a good
Or-
point.
And this Q pattern, which does look like a Goyard pattern, is a pattern that they've used in many of their art collaborations. If Moser made this, it'd be probably $30,000 watch. To see this, 4,500 Swiss franc, so under 6,000 US dollars. I think this is a beautiful watch. Not for everybody, but I think again, there's a lot of watches that are giving you a lot less for a lot more. So I think on the VMAL scale, 70 VMALs for me on this one.
70,
70. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Louis Erard. I'm a big fan.
55.
Fair, fair. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. All right, let's just get into it. Everybody wants us to talk about it, so let us talk about the new Berneron Quantième Annual. It's a new Berneron annual calendar.
That's the name of a brand.
Yes, Berneron is the name of the brand. So you've heard of this brand. Have you seen this brand when they released the Mirage, which was announced, I believe, 2 years ago and has been released? People have been starting to get their pieces for quite a while. So what was very interesting about this watch, everything is curved. Not only the case, not only the dial, not only the hands, even the movement itself used curved architecture, which was very, very unique. He hit the nail on the head in terms of timing of being released when, um, independents were just catching fire, catching heat, and these were all, sold out very fast. I think a few hit auction recently, and they did pretty well. Um, so interesting watch, a lot of fanfare. Then we heard rumors of his second piece coming, and one thing a collector told me is it's really different than the first piece. It's not curvy. It's not using the same aesthetic principle. So I don't know if this is going to be something for me. This is what the collector said, who's somebody who buys in this realm. What's going on, Rich Buddy? Hey, what's up? Hope mom is okay. She is doing great, man. She's almost driving again. She had knee replacement surgery, and I'm super proud of her. She's a trooper. She's doing great. Thank you for asking. So now this is the new Berneron blah, 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 Quantième Annual. It's an annual calendar regulator, basically. So this is your hours, your minutes is the big hand here, your seconds are down below. Then you have a retrograde date in the center, and then you got your day, retrograde date, and then month. So this is from that same maker who made the Mirage. There are a couple of different issues here a lot of people have, but before we get into that, I'd like to ask you, because you're not somebody who's deep into these watches, what do you think just off of a straightforward aesthetic opinion?
It's giving Zeit work with too many hands.
I could
That's
see
the
that.
best thing I can say. It just so it's funny because his first watch looked really different and dope, and like I can see why people like got behind something that was so innovative. And this, while not your run of the mill, like the case design is interesting, where it's like a cutout at the top for the day, then the day and month, like, or am I wrong? And the top is the hour.
Top is an hour.
I don't like the layout now that I think about it. Because it's like, is it a jump hour with the date in the
So so
middle and then
exactly. So everything is instantaneously jumping to, which is another interesting note on there. So you got your big a jumping hour up top, a jumping date, a jumping month, and then you have your regular minute hand and a normal sub-second hand, just separated.
so so in the second hand, right? Is that like a moon phase in the middle
So
there?
everybody's trying to figure that out, and I haven't been able to find a clear answer. So it has to be a day night indicator, is what I'm thinking. I don't think it'd be a moon phase, or else they'd show
Yeah,
that
there's
off.
not enough. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There's not enough aperture for it to be a moon phase or any kind of indication that there's a moon phase going in there. So, I mean, it's not terrible. It goes back to like if this watch is under 20K, it's not a bad watch. If it's over 20K, you're fucking lying. Personally. and I know it's going to be well over 20K.
What's going on, Rare Oyster? Who says it's actually an ugly Odysseus homage. Genji says it gives me a bit of Zeitwerk vibe, very much Zeitwerk vibe with the apertures. So this is a platinum watch, right? Or it's mostly platinum. So what's interesting,
It's platinum.
yeah, oh, I'm trying to have like a very, how do I do this? I like the concept of this watch. Where I get very wary about this watch is the price point, and we don't know who's making the movement for this watch, which
This is
kind of,
over 100 grand, isn't it?
this is
This
well
is
over a
over a
hundred
hundred
thousand.
grand.
This is well over 100,000. So platinum case, it's an annual calendar, right? Regulator. Let's just go into the price before I start dissecting a little bit more. So they're doing a very interesting price thing. So if you put your money up now and lock in for the 2026, you're gonna pay 120,000 Swiss franc. If you wait till 2027, it's 130 Swiss franc. If you wait till 2028, it is 140,000 Swiss francs. So they're already pricing, they're already building in the price increases for you, and they're only making 24 of each variation a year. I think that's a lot of money for these watches. Here's another interesting thing that we should note. So while this is a platinum watch, they've decided to make 15% of the watch in steel, and basically it's the top at a modular steel components. So basically the bezel, the four the four steps on the lugs, and the crown, the pusher for the I guess it's not a pusher, but part of the crown, and a few other elements are made of steel, and that is so when it wears out, they just replace those parts. In my opinion, just replace platinum parts. I don't really get that if you're gonna charge me that much. I understand what you're saying, but why not make it all platinum and just replace the platinum parts down the road? I think that's very interesting, but I don't know for the price point. And again, we don't know who's making the movement, right? Another thing to note: there are no working prototypes made as of yet. As of these articles that are now circulating about this watch, there is no working prototype. So there's another. This is another example of watchmakers making watches, not fully working watches, and going ahead and just getting people's money, getting the deposits in, getting the
Can
wires
I
in.
can I just step in real quick? Like
No,
if we remove the idea that this watch is very much overpriced. They're literally going with a DLC gaming situation where they're fucking making you pay for a watch they haven't fucking made. It's not completed, and you pay more the more you wait, like it's a fucking DLC. This is the
correct.
worst thing I've heard in my entire life. I hope that this company goes bankrupt because that's fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. Hear me out. Hear me out. The movement looks decent, you know what I'm saying? But it goes back to what you're saying, like who's making it? It's instantaneous.
No, nobody knows, or people know,
And then
but they're not saying.
so the fact that it took you like 3 minutes to explain why this might be worth what it's worth makes it not worth it. You know what I'm saying? It always comes back down to that for me. Like if I can't look at this watch and say, yeah, that's $100,000 watch, it's so ridiculous. I'm so sorry. I'm disgusted by
No,
this watch.
I think you're not wrong. I
Julius
think
says it's the next Aventee. I don't know what the Aventee is,
so. Venti is like a Richard Mille clone type situation. Not fully Richard Mille. They do like kind of unique cases with like I think Chinese tourbillons, but it's a brand where it's like you don't know where they came from, you don't know where they're going, and this for the price point, and when we're talking dollars, you're starting out right at 150,000, because 120,000 Swiss franc is 150,000 at the current rate, because the Swiss franc is up so much, is $150,000 before sales tax, before any of that situation. For annual calendar, not fully a perpetual calendar. They said they didn't want to do a full perpetual calendar because it'd make the watch too thick. Their big selling point is that there's pushers for changing the month and day versus using the stylus system, which is, I guess I understand, but to me that has never been a crazy thing. Using a pusher once a year to adjust your watch has never been like a deal breaker for me, and for what I think is most people who collect annual calendar or complicated watches. But the fact that we don't have a working watch, that we're doing a big press release, all the websites are talking about this without a working watch, and they're all just hailing this as like the best thing since sliced bread.
The
I don't
bigger
get it.
issue here, though, and like Watch Addict makes a point here. It's like, how much of a runway do you have after you had such a success with such an innovative and different piece? How much of a runway are collectors willing to give this watchmaker? And I think that he's overshot his skis, thinking that people are going to be buying this watch, um, when it's not doing anything that the first one that did. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm confused about. It's like, yes, you got away with how much was the first watch? Was that
So,
100,000 too?
so I think the first one started a good bit under 100, maybe like in the 70s, and then it slowly jumped
Because I'm trying to figure out what made him think that
as
this would
the
be
hype.
well over 100.
Well, so here's the thing now, right? You get to price things for whatever you want, especially if it's like a new way of doing things, and this is like a different formulation of an annual calendar, doing things with the pushers. There's some patents involved with that. So anytime you put a patent in something, you can put whatever price you want on it.
Yeah, but okay, you're right. But it doesn't make the watch like Genji just said. Just because you made one banger doesn't automatically mean you can do what you want. And it's like so. It's like because what you're saying is he created like new ways of doing the chronograph and the pushers and stuff like that. But it's like
Slightly.
not even that. Like I can't even tell. Like I'm guessing there's little things that he can push on the side, on the bottom and top from the crown.
Yeah, exactly. Like these are pushers. So these are pushers. One does the month, one does the date. So like there are novel way. This is doing things in novel ways. But if it was a perpetual, it would be almost the same as the Paddock perpetuals that have been out for a while, right? Excuse me. Sounds of pushers on the side. So it's doing novel stuff, but not the most. Oh my god! Like I can't believe this is being done again. I'm saying that from as a person who I don't believe it's so hard to pull out a stylus or a toothpick once a year to set your watch. I think that's kind of the beauty of these complicated watches is that they need you a little bit. You know, they're not doing everything. But I understand for some people they want to just pick up their watch and go. I do not like that it's modular with steel on top of my platinum. I want a full platinum watch. I don't care if it gets scratched. I don't care if it's scuffed up. Make me a platinum modular watch that you replace platinum pieces. I think putting steel on top of platinum is, I understand what you're saying. It gives it a little more durability, but it cheapens this already expensive watch, in my opinion. Put tungsten on it. Put a hardened metal on it if you want to put something that doesn't scratch. But don't give me a cheaper metal and tell me it's so I can easily replace it down the road. Because you're still gonna charge me to replace it. It's not you're gonna give me a free replacement because it's steel. You're
Well, it
still
just
gonna
makes it
charge me
easier for them. That's all I'm hearing from that explanation. Like it's an
exactly.
easier. I don't know. I mean, Trap Vision, I agree that it's an interesting looking timepiece, but like in this particular situation, I do think you have to think about the price point when looking at this. And it's just like, is this watch worth over 100? No. Is it worth over 70? Maybe. Maybe you can make the argument over 70, but not to me. This is to me 50. I guess the R&D says otherwise. And like what do you think? What would be the right price point for you on this Sequan?
So I think this needed to be very close to 100. Or I think his second, maybe not this watch, but I think his second watch needed to be very close to 100, preferably under 100. I think this is too polarizing for the community that loved him for the Mirage. That was such a different case thing. And Genji's making a lot of great points here. Do I think Berneron can follow through? Sure. Do I think they should have jumped to this sales model this early in the company's history? Nope. And I think that is so accurate. I think this would be a great entry 2 years from now, but the second runner up to the Mirage, if you're gonna go back to like classic styled cases, needed to be a time only with a really dope movement or very unique complication. To go full quantum annual calendar starting at 150, and we know already in 2027 is going to go 170. It's going to end up being a 180, $180,000 watch for a annual calendar. I don't care what special things you do with it. We don't know who made the movement. There's a lot of questions here, and then you put steel caps on my watch as well. So I don't know. I would have loved to seen whatever. I'd love to seen this watch at 115 US, 120 US. Nobody complains. At 150, you got to really think about it.
I mean, I still think 115, given that it's the second watch. I, the biggest thing here, Scoop, is like we have conversations about these independent watches every day. And every day, most of the time, you start off by talking about the movement and all these different things. And I get that you're saying that the movement can do X, Y, and Z. But when you hammer home the point of like, who's making this movement, and we can't say it's in-house, it's this, it's that. That alone makes me question why I'm paying $100,000. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I really don't know. I think there's a lot more clarity that I know and Sylvain Berneron, I believe, is a watchmaker, so he does have they do have the capability. No. And but the problem is like just because you have the capability, we don't know if you're doing the production, right? We know that Francois Paul Journe has a capability. We also know that today in 2025, he is not doing production of watches. Maybe he jumps in, maybe he helps out, maybe if it's something super complicated, the FFC or something like that, he gets involved. But I doubt he's seeing a watch through from A to Z anymore. Why would he? Why would he?
No,
You
you're
know?
right. You're right.
The problem is younger watchmakers doing that. If I'm talking to somebody under 60, I wanna know that you're heavily involved. You know, Roger Smith just released another watch, and he has a team of 15, but we know how much time and effort he's individually putting in there, what he has his team doing. It's very, very transparent what you're paying for a 300, 400, $500,000 watch from a Roger Smith. And I prefer watchmakers like that who say, hey, come on, come in, come see the workshop. I'll look. There's Johnny. There's DeVito. There's all these guys, and this is what they do. This is how much hours it takes to make the screw, and you show me what I'm paying for. Versus a brand like this, who nothing against them, but just in terms of this rollout, they're charging people over 150,000. We don't even have a working model. These are all CAD drawings, right? These are all CAD illustrations. None of these are real pictures, right? Maybe they're of a real watch, but this is not the real movement, so I can't see the real finishing. So I don't know. I think watches are getting too expensive, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this watch is I was in a chat earlier today, and you're seeing like a lot of heavy hitters just have a lot of question marks, and the same thing like the Urban Jurgensen watch is like, why does this watch need to cost so much? Why do you deserve my money beyond you just having a great watch with the Mirage? And nobody can disagree that the Mirage was not an outstanding piece, deserving of the GPHG nomination and win, and just being a really fun watch. But I just don't know. I love
It's just a very weird step to take.
44,000 was the subscription cost for the original series of Mirage, and it went up every time
it,
after that.
it
FYI.
doesn't make sense. It's kind of like coming out and like changing the game with like a cool tonneau shaped watch and then saying like, hey, I had so much success with this tonneau shaped watch. I'm gonna make an annual calendar that's overly complicated and charge you 3x what the original watch that I fucking made. Like, I'm sorry, Julius Caesar said it best. Or was it Julius Caesar who said he read the backs? No, Durant, sorry. He read the entire story and it just seems arrogant. And I feel like it's a bit of hubris or arrogance in making this watch. Like in going so far away from a different design to just making this is different, but it's not the different that I think people came to him for. Does that make sense?
I'd agree. I think he wanted to prove that he could do something different and something complicated versus something that was just aesthetically different. But I don't think that's what people wanted. I don't think people want complicated watches from somebody who brought in a non-complicated watch. I think like Gen G said, he should have came out with a couple more time-only pieces of very more simple complications, and then have this kind of be a year 5 piece, year 7 piece, showing, hey, we're big boys, we have the capability of doing some really good things. But I think this is just, it's lost to me. Like, it's a lost watch, if that makes sense. It doesn't know who it wants to be, who's it for, because who's the person who buys this watch? You're either a super supporter of Berneron or Sylvain, the man, and what his vision is, or you're somebody who's just taking a bet that this is just gonna flip. And I don't think this is one of those. I don't think so at all. I think this year we're seeing a lot of watches being announced and released that won't have the effect a lot of people think they will on the secondary market. All right, let's get some comments and then we'll move to a different watch. Tulia Caesar says, the brand reminds me of Nikola Motors. Chat Vision says, will this design appeal to the next generation? That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like the next generation doesn't mind classical watches, but they need to be justified and have some type of aesthetic.
This isn't even classical. Like, this is it's a modern take on the jump hour, jump whatever. And I cannot tell you that this looks like, this is not better than the Zeitwerk. I know that the Zeitwerk doesn't tell you as much, but aesthetically, this looks like a ripoff of the Zeitwerk with additional complications. Not as pretty. I don't like the silver dial at all. Like, black dial only.
Yeah, the black dial is the winner, and I do think in person this would be a super sharp watch. I just don't know if the price
Watch Addict said
justifies
it
it.
best. When Longa seems like a bargain, you know you effed up, and it definitely feels like that. It definitely feels like you now put yourself in the same place as a Zeitwerk, and you don't stand a fucking chance. Like, you really have to really be about this brand, or, forgive me, a sucker.
Yeah, hey, a lot of suckers born every
25
day.
Amals.
Oh, 25 Amals. I would give this, without a price, without a price, honestly, this will get 65 to 70 Vmals. With the price, this is a 45 Vmal. I would spend other people's money on it. I think it's an interesting watch, but I think even if I had the money, I would not spend it on this particular watch. I'd look to see what would happen on the secondary market. I don't like the fact that if I'm not already, they make 24 watches a year. If I don't run now to put my name down on the list, the price just goes up for no matter what reason. Meaning you want me to pay now, and I'm sure there might be a deposit situation, but let's say you wanted most of the money. You want most of the money now when the Swiss franc is at a premium to the US dollar. So it's just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And then you're pricing out the fact that the Swiss franc might go down by increasing the price within a year, or
It's
it just
almost the
doesn't make.
reverse of the CPO, where it's like you buy a Rolex and you're like, well, you see, these are reselling for this price, so that's what justifies it. And this is just like, well, sir, we're going to be charging more no matter what, so you should get on board while you can. And it's like, what are these going to resell for? There's so much speculation, and the speculation from the watchmaker's point of view seems to be wacky as hell.
Yeah. I don't know. Time to get off of this. Let's go down. Rare Oyster says the Hossein O'Malley Hubris edition is his next venture. Durad says the Longa equivalent blows this out of the water. I agree. Rich Buddy says Kevin O'Leary will have 2 on each wrist with red straps for sure. Pickle says this is epic. Duke of Brissington, what's happening? Happy Labor Day. Welcome to the chat. Watch Addict, also screw this FOMO BS for something that costs a loaded out Mercedes. Nah, F that. I agree. I do not enjoy these brands saying you gotta get in now, you gotta buy now. It doesn't ring well for me. All right, I think
Very used car salesman type of situation.
very, very much so, and it's weird that it's happening from big brands. Really quickly, I want to touch on this Roger Smith, because this is an independent brand and watchmaker who's making a very, very expensive watch, but he's telling you how he's making it. Roger Smith is the apprentice of the late great George Daniels, and he is, the leading pioneer of British watchmaking over in the Isle of Man, making really extraordinary pieces, not fully handmade, but as handmade as you can ask one to make a watch, where he CNCs rough pieces and him and his team, they finish everything, and the aesthetics are just beautiful, classic British watchmaking aesthetics, not for everyone. And this is a Roger Smith Series 6. Big thing here, just a time only with a date with a little traveling aperture. Not for everyone at all. Super expensive. Roger Smith only does about 15 to 20 watches a year. And it's an expensive watch, but you just know what he's doing. You can read many, many articles about Roger Smith, about what he did with George Daniels, about the history there. I'm not going to use this time to do that. But these are brands to me that are worth the money. They're worth what's going on. You can see why you're paying the money. You could talk to Mr. Smith and get some information.
Wait,
about
how
what's
much is
going
this
on in your
watch? Because you've talked a lot without explaining how much this watch is.
Listen, price.
The amount of time you spent talking about a time-only watch without telling me how much
It has
it
a
costs.
date. It has a date. It has a date.
Nah,
It has a date.
I already know this is gonna be some bullshit, bro.
But you can see his work. You can see his workshop. You can see the people who are working on your watch. It's 320 sterling.
Get the fuck out of here! Nah, bro. Nah,
Worth
bro.
it. Worth it.
This is
Worth
an American holiday, and you chose fucking terrorism.
Worth it. Worth it.
Dickwan, you sell advisory services, and you're telling people that this $300,000 watch that only tells me the time is worth it because this guy makes 100 watches a year?
15 to 20 watches a year, sir.
I don't give a fuck if he made 5, bro. Are you really serious in saying that this is worth $300,000?
For sure. For sure.
All right. Well.
For sure. I can't guarantee that you get more on auction because his pieces have been getting softer. But in terms of, if you're somebody who correlates dollars with man hours, it makes sense. That's all I'm saying. Because we're in a world now where all these. Go ahead.
Do you feel that a lot of people who collect expensive watches, that's all they think of is like man hour, like it's.
I think if you're, I think
that line
the failure in the system where we have failed, me as an advisor has failed the world is that, right? Is that the dollars no longer correlate with watchmaking hours and watchmaking prowess and what it takes to make the watch. Because there used to be a time that if we said over 6 figures, this watch either did something or had a ton of diamonds. And if we ventured over 200,000, it would be like a textbook worth of complications and features and this patent and that patent. And they found the movement from the 1940s and they refinished it. Now today, me and you and Vimal get to go out and make Vimal's watches and we can say 6 figures. And nobody's gonna question. Nobody's gonna question.
But I feel that this argument is very much, and I'm probably not using this correctly, but it's very straw manish, where it's like, so we're able to justify this being $300,000 because some idiots went and made a Chinese watch and did the same thing.
No,
Wait, hold on. Because like what I'm hearing from you is like, well, this person did spend the hours, but like in the end, this does not look like a $300,000 watch. Now maybe when you flip it over, there's going to be some kind of finishing on the movement that justifies it. But when I look at this watch, 100,000 is like a little bit for me. Like that's like anything that tells me time only.
Well, because on this watch, you have to understand what goes into just making the dial and things like that. So we have to, you have to remember, Gian Shapiro is charging you 30 grand just for.
That.
Yes, you have to appreciate the art. So what I'm saying is like,
you keep on going back to this, like other people did this, so that's why this guy gets to justify this. It's like, no, we gotta look at this.
So I guess this guy is justified because this is the way. This is what used to be. If you pay X a lot of money, you're getting this type of craftsmanship, this type of workmanship. You might want to pull that up right now for you. The problem is other brands have started to charge prices to what these guys used to charge, and so that's blurred it. and now you have independents who can just buy movement from whoever, and it's all kind of mushed aligned. Where 15 years ago, if you spent over 200 grand on a watch, you knew that there was like a certain thing. Not to say you'd get the money or the value, but there was a certain thing you're getting. If you're somebody who appreciates this watch is not for everybody. This is somebody who appreciates handmade watches, who appreciates British watchmaking, who appreciates what's being done here, the legacy of Roger Smith, the legacy of George Daniels. That's who this is for. What I'm saying is now today there exist brands who charge the same or even more and have none of that legacy. They're literally just a name and a wealth fund. You know what I mean? And that's the problem, is that's all blurred. You know?
So I
And
guess
that's
the
issue.
question becomes, we should ask the chat. How many people in this chat, not 400K, let's say, how many people in this chat would pay $250,000 for this watch? And I don't think that many would.
I think more than you think in the chat will pay too.
Well, Julius says he wouldn't pay 400K, which is pretty close to what this watch is worth, or like what it's selling for. It's like, so you see, I wouldn't have a hard time to buy a watch for 50K. I just feel like,
Well, so
I don't know.
again, this is like if you have the scratch, right? If you have the scratch, right? This is like buying fine art from a living. You know, this is like buying Jorn. If you knew Jorn's hands were still on the watch, you know what I mean?
Could you explain to me what Daraj means by very high price plus very low production equals laundromat? Not that you agree with him.
Where'd you see that?
He said very high
Yeah, okay.
price plus very low production equals laundromat.
Well, so right now in watches, I'm just gonna switch this real quickly. So this is the watch that Vimal said you should buy versus that Berneron, and I agree. You know, if you're gonna spend big money, this is where you go. Jorn, nice tourbillon, or any complicated Jorn is the safest bet if you're gonna spend.
Well, I'm
big
confused.
mo-
This one's
big
closer in
bucks.
price than the one we're talking about right now than the Berneron. The Berneron is.
Yeah, exactly. But I think he just means like Jorn in general. Even this, like if
I think he was comparing it to this one. No.
oh, well, and even that, I could see somebody buying this versus that. People who are looking for two different things, but the value kind of makes sense. You know, in terms of like the secondary market value of this makes sense. The primary market of the Roger Smith makes sense. What Diraj means when he says very high price plus very low production equals laundromat is right now when you look at the business formations of a lot of these companies, a lot of watch companies, it's easy to see where money laundering can happen. Very, very easy. Look at the art, we look at all these things in the auctions, but it's very, very easy to wash money when you're using low production watches with high values. Nobody knows what the discounts are. Nobody knows what the real transaction is. It becomes very, very muddy, and you wonder how some of these brands are surviving. I'm not going to list a bunch of names, but there are a lot of brands that like come out of nowhere that are being, the prices are astronomical, and you just wonder like how. And yeah, you know, I'm not here to be a detective. I'm just a watch consultant.
I
But, you
think
know.
that like you understand what all this means, like as far as and I think a lot of people do, but it's not going to explain the price point for that R.W. Smith. I am sorry, but like the Gruber Forze, I can sit down and listen to you about that stuff. The R.W. Smith,
But so
there's
the
nothing
thing
about
is
that
the Grubel and the Roger Smith. I just like one day we'll do an episode where I'll pull up all the videos so you can see what's really going into it. I'm not doing the best job to explain, but if you're willing to spend for the Grubel, the craftsmanship in the Roger Smith is there, if not even a little bit higher in terms of what's being made, what's being done in house, how they're doing it, and things like that. I'm not, you know, it's Labor Day, man. I'm not explaining Roger Smith to you today.
I was just really taken aback by something being time only, being that expensive. And then now I understand why people make things more complicated, because it's just like, it's very hard for me to wrap my head around something that just tells me the time. And then you're just like, well, the guy had finished everything. It's like, I don't give a fuck. That's his decision to do that.
So that is such an excellent point, and that's why so many people do complicated things, right? Because it will take me all day to really explain why this watch is actually worth why it's worth. But if I just give you a double tourbillon, it just looks expensive. You know what I mean? it doesn't matter if it's a modular tourbillon I bought from a company who just prints out tourbillons. It just looks more expensive. Where something like this, if you don't know what's going on, I agree with you, $50,000, $60,000, and it's a real, it's a struggle. Vimal says FP Jordan has a boutique in Kiev and not Toronto. I rest my case. As an exclusive and great auction model, which was your argument for Roger?
I think he's talking about the Art of You versus the FP Joint. Like when you were
So he
talking.
was comparing it to
Yeah, it makes more sense that way. And to be honest with you, like I get that the R.W. Smith or whatever it's called is probably a more man-hour watch. No matter what, I'm looking at this yarn and it's like I don't even care about tourbillons. I will buy this watch over that, and I guess that
for
just
sure.
shows that I don't understand like value as far as like price points in that realm. I just don't get it. I just
It took me a long time 'cause I didn't understand it as well. But when you understand what some brands are doing and some brands aren't doing, is when it's like, and what what the brands aren't are charging compared to the brands that are and all that. Like once you see how the sausage is made a little bit, then it kind of makes sense. Duke of Princeton has a
Duke of
great point.
Brissington said, "Oh, go ahead.
I
You
was
say
saying,
it."
Sir Duke says Grubel Force is a sci-fi movie like Avatar. Roger Smith is opera. I know which show I'm sleeping at and which I'm on the edge of my seat for. That is actually a great analogy or metaphor. All right, let's see what else do we have here. Let's have some fun with some football watches. So football season is in effect. We got a new Breitling and NFL merger, but before that, these are some of the best college watches I've seen. College football watches, and they're done by a brand called Axia. And I just thought I've seen so many cheesy ones. I just wanted to give this 5 seconds of screen time. I'm not an Ohio State fan. I think college football. Who am I? I'm a UCF, and I think I'm supposed to be Oklahoma. I don't know. I'm a UCF fan, Golden Knights. But I thought these were just the better ones that I've seen. And anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Look like cheap Breitlings.
Now we got some Breitling. So Breitling is beefing up their collaboration with the NFL. Last year we had some limited edition Chronomap 41s or whatever they're calling them now, chronographs. Now we have some new endurance models, and then we also have a Chronomat GMT with Breitling. And at first I wasn't the biggest fan, but I honestly like these aren't bad, man. Depending on your team, like the endurance ones especially, I think are like not bad at all. And even the GMTs without having the logos on the dial, I think they're pretty cool.
I think it's very hard for you to do a sport watch that isn't not cool. Sorry. Tudor did it well with the Miami one and I think they had a couple colorways. When you add the logo of any team, I'm sorry, it just makes things look kitschy to me. I have yet to see an NFL logo team on a Breitling watch, and I was like, yeah, man, that's really cool. It all just looks like overpriced fucking toy watches to me. I'm sorry. And like I love the Steelers to death. I would never in my fucking life buy a Steeler Eagle watch. Would you can you justify paying that much money after you guys won the Super Bowl for this shit?
Well, I wouldn't pay full retail, but pre-owned, I think I'd pick up.
You think a lot of people are selling their pre-owned Eagles watch? Like if they bought this
For
shit, they'd
sure.
be like, "Oh, I'm Eagles for life."
For sure.
I'm just saying, if you bought this shit, you're passing it down to your kids with hopes that they're also a
You're gonna
fan of the
sell for three
Eagles.
grand. You're gonna sell for 60 off, 70 off. The Dolphins one is probably one of the best.
Duke of Brissington, as a Steelers fan, my favorite was the Panerai Ferrari. There's a black and yellow Panerai Ferrari. I'm blanking on the exact SKU, but as a Steelers fan, that would be uh, my go-to watch. I haven't seen the Bumblebee A-Rod edition. Does that exist? I need to see that. I hope it does. See, this is terrible.
Nah, this ain't bad. This one of the better
It
ones.
wouldn't be bad if they didn't have the stupid stars on the sub dial. Like if it didn't have the Steeler logo, it would be fine. Because the black and yellow looks good. The logo makes it look pitchy. I'm sorry. Go to the one that Kamal sent. I want to see what that one
Yeah,
looks like.
I wanna see
Oh,
this
it's a
one.
Joan? Oh god.
Oh, I think I know which one he's talking about. It's the same joint. I thought he's gonna do the yellow dial,
You got me.
line
You got
sport.
me.
I don't think that's bad. What's going on, USA Crime? USA Crime says I want the Eagles green Rolex. I do that, you know.
It's
I
just
do.
unserious for
So
me
good hope.
paying $9,000 for a watch that has my favorite football team on it. I so unfucking serious. Sorry. Like,
I'd rather.
and I think the Eagles watch, the green, somebody said that the Eagles green looks good on the dial. That's the problem I'm having is that some of these watches look good if you just take the logo off. Like maybe you should have just implied it through the team colors, in my opinion. But that's what the Tudor pink was, right? Wasn't that like an MLS for
Well, the Tudor Pink was some fake Inter Miami edition that they just slagged off to everybody. It became like a weird,
but like that would
a
have been
little
a
bit of a
better
weird thing.
route for Breitling. Going the colorway and not putting the logo.
Well, look, the new GMTs are just a colorway though. They're not. They're not the logo.
Let me see.
Like these.
Zoom in. I can't see too well from here. That, but I'm from what I'm seeing already, I like it more than the ones with the chrono with the logo.
See, that's
Yeah,
not too
I
bad.
can get behind this. And it's and you know what? I can tell that's the lines because of the color blue. You know, so that's why it's like if they just took that with the other ideas, it probably would have worked a little better. I like this. This is not bad. Um, the watch addict says NBA official watch is Tissot, NFL is Breitling. There are levels to this. I mean, true. And Thiraj says NFL co-brand is a smart way to build market presence. I agree. I think that Breitlings are made for people. Like I think football and Breitling is a good price point. You know, like if people could get with Rolex, they would. You know, but Breitling makes sense.
These are bad.
No, no logo. I'm in. Logo. I'm out.
USA Crime says now they're making watches for this new generation. Chenji says the best Jules watch is the Mega Speedy Spirit. It's a good one. Watch out at NBA official watches Tissot. Some good Tissot editions. There's even a Damian Lillard PRX. Brian Pipe says this ain't bad. Really motivates you to buy something. Not. What Vimal said something funny.
I mean, I think Watch Addict has a point. Maybe if they wore it on the walk in, because like if they could get some of these players to wear it on the walk in where they're getting the photos, because there's always like hella photos of the players coming in. Maybe get some of them to wear these watches. But they can't wear them while they're playing. They literally can't even wear like jewelry. You can get suspended for that, at least from what oh my god. What is this?
This is what Vimal sent, bro. It's amazing what
Come
exists in the
on.
world.
What in God's
Amazing what
name?
exists in the
I mean,
world.
I can afford it. I mean, at least he's thinking about my price conscious.
Wait, what's this 30? What's that 30 for? The date. You gotta love like a date so big you can see the beginning of the
That shit has like
other
a quorum
digits.
bubble feel to it. Like, oh
This thing
God,
probably feels like a aluminum can. It's like,
I'm losing brain cells by the second. Please, God,
oh man, I don't
please,
know how we.
please, God. This has been the worst day of watch talk we've had in a long time. We started off with the Berneron fucking garbage. Then we went on to the most expensive watch that it took you 20 minutes to justify. And now we're looking at, as Watch Addict says, the new generation. We're screwed. It has complications, though. That's true. Chris, you got me. You got
Oh
me.
man, what's happening?
Uh,
Going on?
oh. Watch Addict said, nah, I meant print the watch image on the player gloves. See how the F1 driver His gloves. I did not know that.
Oh
When his gloves
yeah,
have
you've
watches
never
on it.
seen that?
That's dope. No, no, I didn't. That would
Let me pull
okay.
it up.
I take it back. You're right. Put the watches on the gloves. This way, maybe the offensive linemen wouldn't always be getting offsides because they'd be fucking G'd up with the time. Actually, there'd be no time complication on the gloves. Never mind. Show me a photo of the hand gloves, the gloves with
Well,
the
I'm trying to
Black Panther
pull it
AP and the
up.
Spider-Man AP get the no USA Crime. That's how I know you like crime, bro. Because Black Panther and Spider-Man APs are the worst watches that AP made. Ugh, that's crime. That's the true crime. Let's move on
Can
to
you see it?
Beauvais and jacket draws. Oh my god. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but literally that's what they wear. Like that's what
I
they're.
mean, that's that's why IWC is a really good watch. Did you watch Arch Manning outgut the entire Manning family legacy in one game? Dude, he's gonna be fine. It's just like when Jamar Chase couldn't see the ball during training camp, and it's like it's his first game as the true starter. I'm not worried about Archie Manning. Arch Manning is going to be the best college quarterback this year. You heard it here first. The quarterback whisperer.
I don't know about about all that.
Oh, oh, aren't you a Texas fan?
No, UCF Gold Knights, baby, Golden Knights.
When's the last time UCF had a good player? Was it Blake Bortles? I love Blake Bortles though. That man used to
Hey,
get
that
me
was
through.
great. Yeah, Blake Bortles was
Blake
doing
Bortles used to
this.
get me through. Oh, why would you do this, dude? I told you I'm losing brain cells. Why are you doing this to me? I still
I,
have to do things after the stream.
I just wanted to see like what the prices are for the Black Panthers. It's been so long.
I'll be honest with you, the fact that they're still over 200,000 just speaks volumes to the idiocracy that is the watch market.
Pretty much. But it's just dealers, just going from one dealer to the other dealer to the other dealer. I know actually I lie. I know
Yo,
two
go some
people
Yiddish is
who
hot, bro.
own these. Get these fucking Breitling trash wires on my screen. The worst collapses.
You're lagging, bro.
Whoa, whoa,
We're
whoa,
not
whoa!
right.
I like the Bentley for Breitlands now Yiddish. Now come on, we're usually of the same
Yiddish is like, dude, I
wavelength.
did not have a day off to look at these Breitling shit
You,
posts.
you don't like the Breitling for Bentley Motors?
I mean, no, not really. But you like
Oh,
big
come on.
watches. I can
Yeah.
understand why some people like it, but the Breitling for Bentley Motors is a little bit of a niche.
I mean, for what you could get them for right now, 43.50 for this. It's a beautiful dial. Now it's a chunky monkey, but if you can handle a chunky monkey, I think it's a good one. Vimon says CQ. I'm shocked there are so many of these limited edition APs on Chrono. I'm not shocked. Who's actually wearing this? I know one, maybe two collectors who bought a Black Panther, but most that I've seen are with dealers. So like same thing with this is like I don't know who paid so much for these watches. Dealers, you know what I mean? Like most private clients aren't collecting this. Ghost of Yiddish Gambina says Bentley for Brylan equal Invicta. Invicta for Huggy diapers. That's so funny. I think they made a few interesting Breitling for Bentley editions, but I don't blame you. I don't know why they made this watch. It's funny because like when you watch the official like press releases and trailers about this watch, it's all about the craftsmanship that goes into Spider-Man and blah 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 blah. And it's like, why wouldn't you just do that on a better watch? You know, why put this on a concept? Cause this is dope. This is dope that he's hanging off the movement, but it's just like your volume's not working.
Why did they put like for both Black Panther and Spider-Man? Why did they put them as the focal point of the watch? Why aren't they accents? It just goes back to like the reason the Snoopy is such a dope watch is because it's not all about Snoopy. He just so happens to be there. And AP missed the mark on that. Like they made the super person or the hero the main point when it's like, what if he was just hanging from the chrono or hanging from the minute hand or like you know what I'm saying? Like or Black Panther was like grappling a specific area. I just hate that it's like, all right, we're gonna put the hero in the middle of the watch, and it's the Royal Oak concept. It's just, it's just lazy. Sorry, I was looking for the word, and lazy is the word.
Yeah, it's lazy in the most unlazy of ways, which is the funny part. 'Cause, like this is like I think it's a white gold element that's been engraved. I just want to show the feet dangling.
No, but it goes back to what we were saying with the R.W. Smith, where it's like
References.
you chose to make this overly complicated when you could have made it fun. You could have made it fun and still hammer home the point. But instead, you wanted to do this monument to Spider-Man when it's a watch. I don't know, man.
Yeah, never made sense to me. But to me, you just needed to do Royal Oaks that had different colored themed dials, and that would have worked so well. I think in Black Panther, he could have got away with because the timing of everything, Chadwick Boseman's passing,
Yeah.
the fact that the Black Panther movie was such a cultural thing that I think you got away with it. But
Well,
then
Caesar
Spider
also
Man,
says there's lore with the Snoopy, and there's no lore with these two. But I do think
correct?
when they design the Snoopy, all of the Snoopies have like this thing about them where it's not about Snoopy. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just somewhere on the dial, and you're like, oh, it's cool. And it's just like AP was just like, no, 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 no. We have to make sure that they see that Black Panther's on this dial. And it's just like that was not creative in any way. Like it's creative, but not in the way they should have been. Because you're right, I'm taking away from the fact that they made a really cool model and put it in the middle of the watch. But it's like there could have been a better way of doing it. These watches just piss me off. I'm sorry. Whenever we talk about them, it pisses me off.
Oh man, this is insane. They're still priced up. Um, the Raj says these will age like APO Lingis or worse. I agree. Ghost of Yiddish says, I can't believe you have to buy 6 Co 1159s and 5 offshores to be considered for the Spider-Man fucking effing awful watch. Which is true. To get these like at retail, you would have had to spend a bunch of money on other stuff, which is like really, really insane. Smash or pass?
Ass.
Yeah, it's pass. If I had unlimited funds, I'd get a Black Panther just because I think the time was interesting. But I never, ever, 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 ever
If it was fuck
wear.
Mary Kill, I'd kill this bitch.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's wind it down. Let's look at. I had somebody send me some watches from Loop This to check out, and then I was like, man, this is something that we should put on the. This is one site we haven't paid that much attention to, and some really good deals have been found on this website. Like one of my someone I know. Let's go to results. Oh,
Smash with the hammer. Vimal said he wouldn't even want his enemy to smash this. All valid points.
oh man. Let's get Darn it, show me results. Every website is messing with me. And Loop, this is a digital auction. They're always running and some good deals get hammered. They look at this Master Control Mecha Quartz 2640. Then that's a decent price. Some big boy stuff go here like Credo Echi. Beautiful Laurent Ferrier Classic Traveler rose gold with a slate gray dial at 37.2. That's a steal in my opinion. So what attracted me, what
Oh,
made
I'm
me
sorry. What is this from? Like, I know that this is the loop. This,
so
but what?
this is Eric Koo and I believe Justin Grunberg from
Oh.
Keystone.
Ghost of
Together
Yiddish
they make
actually explained it too. It's he says it's a
yep.
great auction site. Is that what it is? Especially with the unique Cartiers.
Yeah, exactly. It's an auction site. They always like pretty much every day new auctions are starting and closing. So it's a different format of auction site. And because Eric Koo and Justin Grunberg, they're two big heavy hitters in the space. So a lot of good
So it's
clients, a
like
lot of
what
good
eBay
watches
should
come
have
through.
been, like because eBay is not really an auction anymore.
Yeah, exactly. pretty much. So you can get things like this Louis Vuitton Escale Time Zone 3740 Snag. A lot of good deals happen here. A lot of very interesting watches pop up. Some good deals, some fair deals. Some stuff go high priced, but I think it's a pretty fair auction platform from what I've seen. 36,000 for this Laurent Ferrier Revolutionary Rake, really cool piece there. My kind of watches, a little bit of everything.
What's going on, Gabagool? Welcome on in.
What's happening, Gabagool? Haven't seen you for a little bit. Hope you're enjoying your Labor Day. I love these Blue Matter ones, man. I think they're the one for me. But just interesting to see what prices certain things are hitting at. And a lot of things like this Chili Snardin Tellurium go for 41.8. Not a watch you think you still get love even at that price. 79 bids, good action there.
Whew. Duke of Bristenton asked, so this is the car and bids of the watch world. I don't know what car and bids are, but if it's like an auction, and maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a bunch of different platforms popping up. This has been around for at least, I want to say 5 years, but at least three to 4 years. And I think they've proven to be a really good place to pick up pieces, especially within the U.S. I'm not sure about the fees and everything like that, but I've seen some really good deals. And they're one of those auction houses that sell everything, not much gatekeeping going on. Oh, wow. Starry Various at 58.3. Oof. This used to be over 100 for a long time. Probably one of the best watches that Batoon makes that isn't super complicated. And it's a great place to get a sense of the market. Moser Endeavor Perpetual Moon, 20,500. Great watch. Solid price. These never really caught on. Big moon faces never really do what I think they should do. Brian Pipe says that Donald Duck's Gerald Gente is super rare. I agree. Another rare Gerald Gente here is a Mickey Mouse Racing Singapore edition. This one for 17,600. This is a really cool one. Never seen that
Yeah.
one.
It's cool, but damn, that's a little. I mean, nostalgia be
For the
whooping
era.
niggas that, bro. Excuse my language,
Hey,
guys.
listen, nostalgia does everything. Yet says the unique Cartiers go for real auction values on this site. The buyer premium is 10%, and the seller fees are a flat 500. Not bad at all. Most auction sites like Phillips, buyer's premium starts at 27%, and then the sellers pay some fees as well. So that's not bad at all.
The
This is more what we
tutor,
need. What tutor?
no, sorry. It's just interesting to see like they have so many interesting different watches, and then they have a couple like regular tutors in there. They
Yeah.
explore one of them.
Yeah, so that's what I say. They take a little bit of everything. So you got Patek Philippe Ellipse, Tiffany and Co stamp, Salmon Dial Royal Oak. So you got Tudors, you got Air Kings.
Stamina Rollo, it's nice. Very
Yeah, I'm gonna
nice.
start scrolling this site a little bit more because they're look at this IWC Micro Quartz Chrono. I'll just go really quickly see if there's anything interesting that's up there. I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. You guys are amazing. We got 18 people in. I think we got as high as 24 people on our Labor Day. Oh my gosh, you guys are the best out there.
What's up with that
Else,
Rolex with the camel dial? That's not right. That's aftermarket. The Air
yeah,
King.
Project X. Yeah, it's custom.
Okay.
But
And they have the that one weird watch. That's the one on the left.
yeah, the
Yeah. What's that
Toldana and
again?
Chan. Toldana and Chan.
Isn't
I
that like
don't.
a specific type of stone in the dial or something like that?
No, I think this is just
No?
a black mother of pearl. I don't like these
Uh,
watches. I'll be honest with you.
how much
It's
is it?
interesting. This one
Uh,
right now is around 4,000 or 5,000. The current bid, 4,100,
Meh.
4,400. But I think they have auctioned like over 10,000 before. Like a new hot watch. Interesting piece. I think if I had a meteorite dial, I'd like it. I'm not a fan of the MOP dial. And again, this is just one of those, me and you could go make a watch type of thing. Not to say anything wrong with that, but I just think that every new watch doesn't need to be
I'm just
super
saying,
hype.
for somebody who wants to make a watchmaking school, you be talking a lot about talking down to people making watches.
Hey, but again, did they make the watches or did they have other people. When I want to make a watchmaking school, I just want to equip people with the talent, the skills to make watches or repair watches. I don't,
I
I'm not
know. I
dictating
know.
what they do. But I just, I'm just trying to.
I said it for joking purposes. I apologize, Chad. I didn't
Ain't no
mean to trigger
joking. Ain't no
CQ.
joking out here. All right, guys. I think we're gonna end that here. Ooh, nice Harry Winston mini repeater, 15 grand. Draw Perigo by Axel Tourbillon, 15.5. Some really interesting watches. FP Jordan buckle, 250. That's gonna go for more than that. Oh man, let's go to the chat before we end it. I want to shout out Yiddish Gambino, Brian the Pipe, the Duke of Rissington, Average, Gabagool, Julius Caesar, Vimal, Chen G, Watch Addict, Diraj, Tan is in the chat as well, Chris DDS, Trap Vision, and everybody
Pack
else.
Eldridge.
USA
Don't forget
Grand.
Pack.
Pack Eldridge, always there. PG. I think that's it. And everybody else who's listening but not chatting, we love you guys so much. I hope everyone has an amazing rest of the holiday. Do something fun, relax, hug your fam, call your family, do all the good stuff. But beyond anything else, relax, have an amazing day. Any words of wisdom for the people, Jay?
I don't have any words of wisdom, but I have a question. Was I wrong for taking Nico Collins over CMC at pick 10 in my keeper league? It was the first pick. Would you have taken Nico Collins of the Houston Texans and their lack of running depth over CMC and being the only running back, and they don't have any wide receivers in San Fran? Leave me a comment. Let me know. Nico or Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey. All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
Let's see somebody answer the question. All right, guys. If you need truly independent watch advice, make sure you check out cqthewatchguy.com. Buy, sell, trade, or if you just need a watch guy to talk to you, that is what I'm here for. Again, everyone, thank you so much. Do me a favor, comment, like, give me a upvote on the stream before you head out of there. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Talk soon.